HTML JavaScript. Okay, so for us to add JavaScript to our HTML code, there are many ways we can do it by adding it inline or external. So let's do it now. So to add JavaScript to our HTML content, we'll use a script. A script element, script. So all our code will be written within this script. Our JavaScript script will be written within this HTML. Within our JavaScript code will be written within this script element. So let's create a simple, let's use header. We'll use this header for display. So okay, let's keep going first. Let's say we'll give this h1 an ID. Give it an ID. H1, let's give it an ID. This ID makes this particular h1 very unique. Very unique. So the JavaScript mainly work with ID, class, names, a lot on about ID. We'll be using ID on this our tutorial. So let's give this h1 a name. Let's call it demo. Let's use the demo. Let's just use the word demo. Okay. So we'll leave it empty. We'll leave the content empty. The content of this ID will be the output of the JavaScript code here. So that's why we leave it empty. Okay. Now let's write a simple JavaScript code. Let's just display something in the screen. Let's just create a variable. Let's create a variable. If we declare a variable, assign a value to a variable, do some arithmetic on the variable, and then display the output in the screen here. It's very simple. Let's just do that. Okay. Let's say var. This is var. Let's say var a equal to 2. Enter. var b equal to, let's say 4. Now I've declared a variable. We have assigned 2 to a, assigned 4 to b. So for us to see the output, okay, let's just do the arithmetic. Let's just add these two numbers. Then we'll declare another variable. Let's say okay, let's say addition, add. Let's just say use add. Let's use add. So var add is equal to 2 plus not 2, instead a plus b, which is the variable. So we have assigned this. We already assigned a and b, so the code is not set. Okay, so for us to display it in this screen, now what we are going to do, we have to for us to display the output, which is the output of a plus b, which is 2 plus 4. For us to display the output in the screen, we can just do something like this. We use another thing in HTML called document dot get element by ID. Open your parameter and put in the argument, which is the name of the ID, inside a quotation mark. Then the name of the ID is this demo here, which is this demo, our h1. This demo, now put it in here, demo. Okay, dot inner HTML. Okay, so inner HTML will be equal to what do we want to replace this demo with? We want to assign it to this, want to replace it with this add. Okay, let's put add here. Okay, so definitely it's supposed to work now. If we refresh the page, yeah, you see 6. That's the output. So this add now is from this code now is displaying in the output, which is on the web page, because of this document.getElement. The document.getElement by ID. Then you put the name of the ID, demo. It goes straight here and get the demo, and then it gets the demo. This is this demo now, and then inside the inner HTML, which is the inner HTML, now it now assign this thing now, everything here now to this. So what you are seeing now is this thing, the way we assign A to 2. That's where this whole thing now, document.getElement by ID demo inner HTML is equal to this. So that simply means that the whole of this thing now, the whole of this document.getElement by ID demo inner HTML is now assigned to add, which means what we are seeing now is the result from this simple arithmetics here. The result is now replaced as in, how do I put this now? How do I do this now? Okay. The results will be displayed in header 1. The reason why it will be displayed in the header 1 is because the demo, we use the demo inside document.getElement by ID. So we have now connected to the header 1. I think that's the best explanation. Okay, so for instance, we can just add another, thing. You can say plus b, another b, to keep on adding, and also anything you are doing, it will be, the result will be showing live at the web page. Now let's write another JavaScript, another simple JavaScript. Okay, now we have gotten this. So let's use another thing. Let's say okay, yeah, let's use alert. Let's alert it in the screen here. Let's alert it in the screen by saying something like okay, let's say equals to a plus b. I don't need to clean this. Okay, so let me just say alerts, give it a parameter. Alert is waiting for the is waiting for a thing to alert. So we alert add, which is addition. Say add. Okay, you see it will say something now. Okay, you can see the window says this the port says 6. This 6 just alert 6 for you. Just click OK. But what if we want because the user will not have access to our backend, to our HTML code and Lightning. So what if we want the user to input their values? Yes, to input the values, and then once they put the values, the code will make use of it. As in, okay, we have this this add variable here, and we have done the simple arithmetic here. Once variable add equals to a plus b, so the result of a and b. So we want to make a and b user, as in want to collect the input, these two inputs from the user. So what we're going to do, instead of putting the values, remove the values. Then we'll now do this var a is equal to let's say window.prompt. Okay, let's say, yeah, can even use prompt self. Can use prompt is equals to prompt. Yeah, prompt. Then you will now pass a message, give the user a message to know what they are going to input. Let's say input. Okay, let's even make it more, because users sometimes may not. Okay, let's do this one for now. When we get to the JavaScript, let's not go very deep in JavaScript. We can watch our JavaScript videos to understand better. So let's just scrape it, stop scraping. So let's say inputs okay, let's say input your value, input your values, input your values. You have to make it well known to the user that they will only put integer, not a string. Input your int input your first int value. This int replace. Okay, let's make it, because let's assume that we are saying this to a person who does not know what int is all about. Let's say integer, your integer number, which is a whole number. Input your integer number, input your first integer number. Okay, let's copy this. Okay, let's copy from prompt. Okay, Control C, side BV. Okay, now let's all we have to change, cancel this thing. All we have to change here now is, let's just change the reason why you are seeing this pop-up is because this is a live server. Any changes that you make here will be reflecting in the page. The server is always reflection, so that's it. So let's change this one to second. Input your second, put your second integer values. Okay, so let's cancel. I don't want this thing to be learning. This is that one of the downside of server. It's always refresh and you will always see your code and all that. So now we have already created this we already created this. We're already giving user the opportunity to input their values. So what we are going to do, if we refresh this page now, the window will prompt us to input our integer value by presenting this text. Any value we put first and second, then it will be added in this place, and then it will alert it, and then we print it in the screen. So let's refresh and see what happens. So you see the first one, input your first integer value. Let's put let's say 15. Okay, let's say okay. Then the second one, input your second integer value. Let's say 10. This is for the second one. Okay, as you can see. Oh, we have some issue here. Is concatenating it, as in it's concatenating the values instead of doing instead of adding it up. What it's doing is just concatenating the values. Kind of, it's seeing it as a string, because every input is seen as a string. So we're supposed to put it such a way that it will be, let's do this, let's do int here. Let's see what will happen. Let me know whether this will work. Integer. Let me say okay, can't figure this out now. Okay, so let's replace it. It's concatenating the numbers. So there's a way to actually get the values from this prompt. So let's just use name. Input your first name. Let's just use that. On our JavaScript video, we'll do that. Input your first name. Let's do input your first name. Input your first name. Okay. input your second name. So okay, second name, move these values. Yeah, okay. So let it concatenate our name. Let it concatenate our name. Let's just do it. So just okay. The first name, let's say John. Enter. The second name is let's say John Swiss. And these two names are not supposed to be together. So what we're going to do about that, we add white space here. Add white space here. Add another plus here. So there will be space in between them. So let's input our values again. No, sorry about this one. John. Our first name is John. Second name John Swiss. Okay, now it's supposed to space it out. Yeah, you can see this it is spaced out. So that's it for accepting user input. But note, I skipped the one of the integers because it's not supposed to give us concatenated integers. It's supposed to give us the actual values. So we used input name and first name and second name to do the concatenation. Okay, so if you figure it out, just drop it in the comment box so we can recap. So let's do another JavaScript. Let's let another simple JavaScript code again. Let's say okay, let's just create sort of kind of a colored box like a screen. Then it will have a border. When it have a border, then when you click, there will be a button below it. If you click hide, it will hide the box. If you click show, it will show the box. Okay, so let's do that. So first of all, what we need to do, let's use div. Let's create div. Sorry about this. Let's use div. What is happening with the scripts? Oh no, it's not here. It's supposed to be outside the scripts. Yeah, it's supposed to be outside the script. So let's create a div. Yeah, there's no use for this hash1, or it's still in use. Let's replace this hash1 with div. Then this one div, say div. Okay, so the name of the id for our div is demo. So let's also add some attribute to it. Let's give it a style. Inside our style, give it width of let's say 400 pixel. Then the height, let's give the height let's say 300, so it will not be too buggy. So let's give it 300 pixels. Okay, 300 pixels. Okay, then let us also give it a background color. So it is already these dimensions are already in the screen, but it's not visible. So let's give it a background color so we can actually see what we are doing. Let's say background color. Let's give it let's say okay, let's say gold. Color. Let me leave this gold. Let's say okay, let me say chocolate color would be nice. Chocolate color. I think it's supposed to, yeah, see, it's visible now. So you can see the dimension. Let's increase it to 350 pixels so it can, yeah, I think it's better this way. Now let's add border to the div. Let's say border, say border, let me give it let me say 1 em. Let me give the border 1 em, 1 em, and then okay, oh sorry, border color, okay, this border, what's happening? Yeah, this border. So remove this now. Okay, yeah, okay, border, let me give it 1 em, 1 em, solid, let me say solid, let me give it a, I think this one is still okay, but let me give it a solid uh solid gray. Let me use gray so it can, I think it might match the color. Solid gray, how does it looks like? Yeah, solid gray, I think it makes a little bit sense. Okay, so now we have gotten our div, we have gotten our screen. So you remember what we say we want to do. Want to create a screen that when you click show, it will show. When you click hide, it will hide the screen. We will not see it again. So we have created the div. Okay. So now we have to create the buttons. Let's say button, the button for show and hide. So let's say button. So inside this button, we have to create it. Okay. The first button. Let's call the first button. Uh, um, say show. Uh, show screen. Show screen. Show screen. Then the second button. Okay, before I copy it to the, I'm creating second button. Let me add the property that I need. Let's say the attribute, sorry, on click, on click, on click. When what I want to happen when this button is clicked, when you click this button, what do I want to, what will happen when this button is clicked? What I want to happen is that I want this function to run. I want this show function to run. This is the I want this function to run. I want this function to learn. This function now, though we have not created a function. Okay. So, okay. Now, let's duplicate this because we need two buttons. Let's duplicate it. So, we'll now replace this with hide. We'll replace this with hide. Hide screen. Okay, now the function name, let's replace it with hide. Just use hide. Let's use hide. Okay, so I've gotten what we want in the button. We have created all we want to create in the button. So I think everything is set. Everything is set. What's the meaning of these small buttons not supposed to show? Okay, what is this thing? This additional button, is it necessary? Don't think it's necessary. Show screen button. Why is it showing so? Let me figure out something first. Come in. Let me figure out something. Okay. Okay. This additional stuff here is not supposed to be here. So why is it? Let me just put a BR. Okay. So it's supposed to be a space in between them. Oh my. Okay. Okay. I think I made the little mistake here. I'd not put a closing tag here, which is this. Okay. Okay. Then this one's supposed to have a closing tag. Okay, so those things have disappeared. It's now okay now. So it's better this way. Okay. Actually, should I bring this button down here? Okay, let's leave it this way. It's more, I think it's more better that way. Let's remove this. Was height. Okay, this is not what's supposed to be. Let's remove this button. Okay, this is how it's supposed to be. Then this one, remove this. Okay, is no. Okay, this is how it's supposed to be. Okay, show screen. Okay, show screen. Then this one now supposed to have a, oh wow. Okay, then I'll now remove this one, this button, put button here. Yeah, so it's okay now. So just the issue is the not close the not close the element. The closing tag of the element is not well closed, so it's not done now. So you can see the button is well placed now. No additional those bonus button by the side. So we are done with the button and the creation of the div, which is the screen. We have created our screen, we have created the button, we have created the two buttons, and we also named the button, the two buttons, and then put a listening event. Yeah, that's a listening event to it, which is on click. This will happen. So let's create the function that will learn, that will actually make this thing work. So let's start with show. Let's start with show. Let's create the show function. Okay, show. Let me use advanced JavaScript, or should I? Okay, let me use advanced JavaScript because we have to learn it advanced. So let's just, or should I use normal JavaScript? Either way, two of them work, but I prefer using allo function. So show, let's say show is name of the function. Show is name of the function equal to parenthesis, which is our argument. Should accept the argument, then equal to greater than, this is the for, then put our curly braces. This is for our function, the function that, okay, for the sake of general use, let me use a normal function because many people are using normal function. In our JavaScript tutorial, we'll use advanced function. So let's just use normal function that everybody use. Function show, then put our argument, which is our parameter. Okay, so this is our function. Let's duplicate it before we write our, let's duplicate it, shift at allo down. So then this one will be hide, which is here. Let's hide, this is hide. Okay, so this is the two function. So we now write the logic within the function statement, the statement that will be executed when the function is when the button is clicked. So the button will actually call these functions. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, let's start with the show. Let's say document dot, yeah, document dot get element by id, what we did in the other recent one. Document dot get element by id, uh, document dot get element by id. The name of our id is what again? Should be demo. Yeah, inside our div is demo, demo, then dot inner html. Okay, no, not dot inner html, dot style, dot display, equal to uh this one will show us the block of this block, which means it's normally block for displaying to display something. So to display block, that's it for display, is equals to block. Okay, now we are done with this our function, this show function. This is what we we need for this show function. Now for hide function, we say document dot get element by id demo, which is the name of our div, the id for our div, then dot style dot display equal to, we give it a non-value. We give this attribute a non-value, a none. So our our simple JavaScript project is done. So we are done with it now. So what with this code now? Let me scroll up. With this code now, if we click on show, or let's refresh the page, it's already showing. If we click on hide, this screen will disappear. Then if we click on show, it will show again. Let's stop much talking and do the and actually do it. So if you click hide, you see disappear. Then if you click show, it's show again. Hide, show, hide, and show. So that is it for this is another example for JavaScript in HTML JavaScript. So a quick recap on what we actually did here. Quick recap. First of all, everything is inside the body element. So first of all, create our div, which is our screen now. Create a div, give it width and height in pixels, then give it a background color, give it a border of 1 em and a solid grain. The color of the border is gray, 1 em. Then after that, we create a button. Then name the button, and then uh, assign the function. When I just add event listener, not actual event listener. Is event listener is different. On click to unclick on the two buttons, and when each of the button is clicked, this function will run, and when this one is clicked, this hide function will run. Okay, now what we now do in the script, which is the main JavaScript, is to grab some of all those things and do this simple manipulation here, which is write the two functions for the two of them. So once the function is called, the clicking is just like calling the function. You click and you call the function. That is simple. This is simple way of calling a function. Hide in and this is the simple way for calling a function. If you write a function, if you write a function this way, after writing a function and at the end of the function you write something like this, the name of the function and the parameter like this, you are calling the function. So that is what actually is going on here. When you unclick, the hide function is called, likewise the show. So once the user unclick this hide screen, this function executes, and the function of the function of this hide is to set this our screen to nothing, so it will disappear. When you click show again, it's assigning as kind of it's show it again. So that is it. So show is already showing, so hide, so show. So that is it for JavaScript. You can spend more time in JavaScript. JavaScript is very awesome, sweet. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.